to infinity and beyond.
What's up, everybody? Roger and James here with Infinity and Beyond, presented by DisKingdom.com and DisGaming.com. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a brand new free game, Cars Lightning League, which is out now on mobile devices. You can get it on Google, and you can also get it on iOS. So this is a sort of free running kind of game where you swipe left to go right, same thing. You can jump up and down. You've got to hit barrels and stuff. Put up a Let's Play video and played it a bit. I'm going to be honest, it was a lot better than I was expecting.
Yeah, I haven't actually played that many Eternal Runner games or whatever, so I don't have much to compare it against, but I did enjoy it. I played the first 5 or 6 levels and got Lightning leveled up once, and that was about it.
Yeah, it's I mean, compared to something like Spider-Man Unlimited or Sonic Dash or the Minions Run, all these kind of different ones that there, I think it seemed to work very well. The feeling of speed was building as you were kind of going along, and it seemed to be quite sort of reacting very well to the touch screen stuff. It seemed to be working quite well with that one.
I did have a couple of issues, particularly with breaking boxes, where you have to slide, right before you get to the box. And a couple times it didn't register properly. There were a couple of jumps that I did, where it didn't register properly. But for the most part, I thought the controls were pretty responsive. Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be one of those situations of, this was in soft launch for about a day. I saw it on the store, and I put up a story. The following day, we had the press release coming out. I literally put in my article, I really hope this game gets out while the movie's out, because of what happened with Beauty and the Beast's Perfect Match and also Moana Life, where they kind of got stuck in soft launch limbo for months. This one managed to get out on the same day as the movie came out, which seems to be doing very well. And we got the game. We're getting the movie a little bit later, so seems the movie does seem to be going down very well. But I'm still a bit salty about not being able to. I've got Driven to Win sat there ready to be played, but it won't let me play because the date's not right for us yet. But anyway, this game seems to hit the mark for it.
I think it does pretty much what you need it to do for a Cars game. Obviously, this game doesn't want to compete with Driven to Win, so they don't want to give you a proper racing experience. And if you're not going to do, an actual racing experience, then I mean, an endless runner seems like a good alternative. So.
Yeah, but it is an endless runner, but also at the same time, because of the way it's done with almost the maps. I mean, it looks to be hundreds of maps, that kind of following of what Inside Out and Frozen did, of having all those maps that kind of go through, and they can keep adding extra levels and stuff to it. I mean, there looks to be hundreds of generated levels for that, different characters and stuff. But at the same time, it's almost that thing of this kind of slides into that good thing with these kind of games where you might play for 10 minutes, you lose your lives, and then you just play another game, because it never really felt to me like there was this vast interest in having to buy anything.
Yeah, I mean, at least for the levels that I was at, you could have just used Lightning for everything. There's no real need to get any of the new characters or any of the other vehicles that you could unlock. That might change. There might be certain levels that you have to have a certain character, but I imagine that even those will not be premium characters. That would cause too much of an outcry. But yeah, it really is kind of in that same Disney Emoji Blitz or Frozen Freefall, whatever, where, if you want to, you can spend a couple bucks, but I never felt pressured to.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see how people would maybe fall into the loot boxes. They're not nearly as egregious as other games in the genre, well, just in mobile market, period. But there's always that temptation, and I know there's some people who won't be able to resist it, which is, that's their business, and obviously the company needs to make money as well. So,
I mean, I actually, in some ways, with this kind of game, it's a shame really that this couldn't have just fallen down that line of maybe where they're premium ones, like they did with the Finding Dory one last year, where they release it for $3 or $5. It's completely unlocked, and you can just run through the game, because This game almost feels like that's what it should be. It, you know, the way they've done the ways of upgrading your cars and stuff, it doesn't feel like it's required, and that's been like bolted on the side. They got the core game right, and then it's like, well, okay, we need to monetize it, so we're going to do this. But I've sort of playing it and going, there's none of that kind of, okay, you have to do this. This feels like it did feel like a little bit of a bolt on.
Yeah, and I think this is the victim of the current state of the mobile industry. This is what we saw with that Super Mario game last year, or earlier this year. I can't even remember anymore. Yeah. People were like, "Oh, if this was free, I'd totally buy it." The loot crates or whatever they have in the game, you'd probably end up spending far more than $10. But people were not willing to put $10 up front. Yeah. And I agree. If this game was $2 or $3, I probably would have bought it. I would have enjoyed it for an hour, and I'd felt it was money well spent. But convincing people to pay that $2 to $3 up front is very difficult these days. So
it definitely does feel like that way of. Because I think Disney, Disney have been experimenting with that way of making games. I thought that Finding Dory game that they released last year for like a couple of bucks with like 20 levels was a really good side-scrolling game, and it was a premium one. But obviously, I suspect the money wasn't brought in the same way, and the idea that they were you pay up front and you got everything. Mobile, I think parents just install it and hand it over to the kids, and unfortunately, they are going to grow up with this concept of loot crates, which we are going to talk about in another things. But again, it does feel like this is just something that's really sweeping through market, and it seems odd to be thinking like Cars Lightning League is that's how it had to get funded, rather than I think just having buying extra characters makes a little bit more sense. Upgrading and leveling up, and I'm gonna be honest. Disney's history of mobile game support generally does make me very, very unwilling to kind of say to people, invest a lot of money. Treat it as a cup of coffee. You have it once and just enjoy it that time. But it's not a long-term investment.
Yeah, but convincing people of that is a very, very difficult thing, because we see it time and time again. MMOs, mobile games will come off the market, and people are like, I spent $30 on it. Yeah, well, you played it for 100 hours. Don't you feel like you got? But all my money's gone now. It was gone anyway. Yeah. You weren't going to get it back. These games, unless they have a dedicated offline mode, and I haven't actually checked if this one will work offline or not. Is that you haven't checked, or it doesn't have an offline?
No, I haven't checked. I would imagine it probably doesn't, because
I'm thinking it doesn't either.
Not on this phone. I had to take it off. But no, to me, Lightning League is a fun little game. I definitely recommend, if you're a Cars fan, download it, try it out, play it. It's fun. It's a fun little thing. Yeah, obviously the phone mechanic doesn't work entirely well for racing, but I think they got this style of. I think it works pretty well for this one here. It gives you options. We're going to be talking about some of the other Cars free stuff as well, but generally, it does seem like a very fun game, and I hope it does well. I've not seen too much buzz around it. It's kind of it's sometimes these games just get chucked out, and the hope really that when a kid goes to see Cars free and he puts a search into Google or into iPhones and sees a new game, that they'll download it. It's very much seems to be how this one works.
Although I will say that it actually took me a bit of searching to find it in the App Store. At least on the Android side, I tried Cars 3, tried Cars Disney, and you actually do have to punch in Lightning League to find it. A generic Cars search won't get it, which is not a good sign. I mean, that's not really Disney's fault. No. That's just how the store algorithms go, but. If it's that hard to find, then they're going to lose out on the people who are like, oh, man, I just saw Cars 3, and now there's nothing.
They didn't actually call it Cars Free. I think that's the other thing as well. Because you pick Cars as such a generic name, it's very difficult to kind of... But, like I said, it's definitely worth checking out. I do think it's a solid mobile game. It is, again, offering a different kind of genre of the current sweep of games that are out. I mean, we have seen these kind of things coming through in the past. Mowgli's Run for Jungle Book last year. This kind of thing is definitely worth trying out.
Yeah, and at least it's coming out at the time that the movie is out, unlike say Beauty and the Beast or whatever. So we'll see if it sticks around for a while. It's the kind of game, you've already mentioned this, but it's the kind of game that you're standing in line at a ride for Disney World and you've got 10 minutes to kill. Just pull your phone out and do a race or two real fast, and then tuck it away when you get on your ride.
No, definitely good playing. You definitely would love to know your thoughts on this as well. Comment below or get in touch with us on the different social medias. Remember to check us out over at DisKingdom.com. Also, we are giving away a copy of Cars 3 Driven to Win this month. So the winner gets to choose which platform they want it on, Switch, Xbox, etc. So definitely want to check it out over on the website, DisGaming.com. On that note, guys, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and go check out James over at HeroicLegacy.com. And we shall see you guys in another episode. Later.